I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? #1 Chief Rock in each universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezie, is in the building. Salute, everybody. Salute, salute, salute. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Okay, I see y'all out there. Greg Hamilton is in the building. Ivory 10, what's good? Nick Nation, what's happening? Just Knicks, salute. Sherwin, what's good? Salute to everyone watching us on X. Salute to everyone watching us on YouTube. Salute, salute. What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? We go here. I closed something I didn't want to close. Hold on, everyone. Let me do this. All right. What's good, everybody? Okay. I think I might have it. I think I may have it. Hold on. Let me do this. Wow, I see we have some Deuce supporters in the building. Deuce McBride is the 5th starter. Wow. Deuce McBride is the 5th starter. Oh, okay. Randall is in the building. Salute to all the members and supporters of the channel. Thank y'all for helping support the channel, man. We really appreciate that, man. I know I say that a lot, man. I do mean it, though. I knew that was going to fall eventually. Salute. I see y'all, YouTube. Just Nick says, prioritize perimeter defense over rebounds. I think we're going to do that. Sherwin says, people with the Deuce starting nonsense, please stop it. Deuce is 7 feet. Brunson is 6'2". Bridges is 6'6" in sneakers and 200 pounds. Going. Yeah, he don't mean Deuce is 7 feet, right? He don't mean He don't mean Deuce. Yeah, I was gonna say he don't mean Deuce is 7 feet. He mean Deuce is 6 feet. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Coach, what's good, boss? What's good, Coach? It's good to see you, man. And Coach says we have multiple fifth starters depending on the game plan. Okay. HRM is in the building. Just Nixon has 6'2" with a 6'10" wingspan. Okay. All right, so I got something I jotted down. I have something I have jotted down. I'm just gonna just go over it really quick. It's a way for me to organize my thoughts so I won't ramble and be all over the place. So I'm just gonna go from this. But y'all have some good comments in the comment section. That's why I'm a little distracted, man. These comments, and I like these comments. Yeah. All right, so I was gonna wait to see if, but I'll go ahead and start. Salute to everybody watching, by the way. I'm gonna just go ahead and start, just because I have it in little dots right here, and I'm gonna just connect my dots, and then we'll start the conversation. Just want to let you know how we feel, right? So I'll start with the Knicks are stacked, right? For the first real time in a very long time, we're not asking, do we have enough talent? Instead, we're asking a different question. What player or players are the best fit to put around the stars that we have? And that's a good problem to have. We have what you call a core four, right? Y'all know who the core four are, right? Y'all know who the core four are. I don't have to really get into detail about what player consists of the core four. Y'all know who the core four are, right? We already know this core four is set in stone. It's Jalen Brunson. He's the engine, the closer, the leader of the team, right? And there's Mikal Bridges, our Iron Man, with the two-way game and the perfect running mate for JB, right? He's a perfect running mate for Jalen Brunson. Then there's OG. There's Ogugwa and Anunoby, the quiet assassin who the guy, he locks up the other team's best scorer and hits corner threes like it's second nature, or try to. He'll shoot them like it's second nature. And then there's, Karl-Anthony Towns, the most skilled offensive big we've ever seen, right? Or seen in this era. Inside out, pick and pop, space the floor. That's a dangerous starting point. Okay? That's a dangerous way to start, right? For the most part, this last season, everybody was pretty much healthy. JB missed a few games, but pretty much that group was intact for the most part. But here is the $1 million question. What player on our roster completes the lineup? Right? What player is going to be the fifth member of Boyz II Men? Which player is going to be the fifth member of the Beatles? Right? Which player on our roster is going to be the fifth member of the Four Tops? Right? Which player on our roster turns this squad from dangerous to championship ready? Right? And I know what you guys are saying. I have a sense I know what you guys are thinking. I have a sense, right? Because I was reading the comments earlier. I have a sense on what you guys are thinking, right? But here are the options. Josh Hart, the ultimate glue guy, the hustle, the heart, the dirty work king who brings energy every single night, right? Do you depend on his grit every night as a starter, even if his jumper is intermittent? Option 2, Mitchell Robinson, the eraser, the defensive anchor, the elite rim protector, the glass cleaner, the lob threat. While it may make the defense spectacular, does it clog up the offense? It's just food for thought. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Right? I'm not gonna read the chat. I'm just gonna go through because I wanna put my thought out there, and then y'all tell me what y'all think. Now, here are the ones I think are on the outside looking in, but I don't know. Who knows? We don't know yet, right? Training camp doesn't start for a couple weeks or so. We don't know. But these are the guys I think on the outside looking in. Jordan Clarkson, instant offense, microwave scorer. Imagine Brunson doesn't have to carry the entire scoring load because Clarkson's out there cooking too. Right? With Jordan Clarkson on the floor, everybody, Jalen Brunson doesn't see these weird and exotic defenses. Imagine, if you will, a day when Jalen Brunson doesn't face exotic defenses. I have the microphone up and my mic's not even on. Thank you, StreamYard. Test, test, test. There it is. There it is. It's supposed to be defaulted to this thing. I was holding it up, speaking into it, and it wasn't even on. It was the camera mic. But anyways, imagine, if you will, a day when Jalen Brunson, imagine a day if the defense makes a shot and Karl-Anthony Towns takes the ball out and he passes it in to Jordan Clarkson and waves Brunson down the floor. Now, go ahead, Cap. We got it. I might pass out. Having Jordan Clarkson on the floor with Jalen Brunson is an automatic win offensively. Offensively, that's an automatic win. Here's the other side of that coin. Who's going to guard the point of attack when Jordan Clarkson's on the floor? Bridges? Now, instead of having 2 defensive uncertainties on the floor, you'll have 3 defensive uncertainties on the floor, which begs the question, do you now run an exotic defense yourself to cover up for the inefficiencies or deficiencies of that starting lineup? While starting Jordan Clarkson may get your offense off to a roaring start, offensively, what does it dig you in a hole defensively? While Jordan Clarkson, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Jalen Brunson on the floor at the same time to start a game is a fantasy basketball dream. What do they present defensively? Does Mike Brown have to now run exotic defenses like triangle and 2, or an exotic defense in order to prevent Jalen Brunson, Cat, and Jordan Clarkson from being picked on defensively? Something to consider. All right, now here's the wild card. Here's the wild card. I'm going to say this, and for those of y'all that disagree with me just mentioning, because I'm just mentioning this, right? This is not my opinion. This is just me putting facts out there, just talking points. But if you disagree with this, a lot of y'all last year was begging for this. Y'all were begging for this. And if y'all disagree right now, it just let me know y'all were just last year, y'all were just arguing just to argue, just to hear yourself. Right? The 5th starter, the wild card, Guerschon Yabusele. A physical, tough, stretch power forward. Right? Now, while he's not a household name, but he could surprise everybody and carve out a role. And he's cheap, and he's tough. Last year, a lot of what I heard is the Knicks need a big physical power forward. They need some toughness. And now Guerschon Yabusele is on the roster. And he could start. He gives you that Isaiah Stewart feel. He gives an Isaiah Stewart type vibe to your lineup. He gives a Charles Oakley type feel to your lineup. Guerschon Yabusele gives you this thing called toughness. It's the thing that a lot of the cat haters said that they need in the lineup. Triborough Gigolo is in the building. Salute to my guy, Triborough Gigolo. If you are not popular at work or in the streets, if people start calling you OG, but you're not really that old, if you're not really popping like that like you used to, check out the That Ain't Rap podcast. Get you back on your game. I often do it myself. I go over there and I check out the Triborough Gigolo, the That Ain't Rap podcast, and learn stuff. One of the best moderators, YouTube hosts, podcasters in the game, the Triborough Gigolo, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. And there it is, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Make sure y'all go check him out. But so there's another possible fifth starter, right? A fan favorite. He's the underdog. People love him because he gets more out of less. And that's Deuce McBride. He's a bulldog at the point of attack defense. He brings aggressive defense, toughness. Occasionally, he'll knock down a shot or two. And all you really have to think about as Deuce McBride, or for Deuce McBride being a starter, is there is no question about who guards the other team's point of attack initiator. With Deuce McBride on the floor, he is guarding the other team's point of attack initiator. He is. Whoever it is, Deuce is guarding that guy. And he's not afraid. Sherman says Freezie is looking for Knicks to be all-time in. Hey, yeah, Sherman, easy. Just remember, this is us having a conversation. Like, you attributing stuff to me, man. You got to focus. Stay on task. These people are smart. They're listening to you. You don't have to tell them. They're here. They know we're having a conversation, dog. This is just something for us to talk about. This is something for us to talk about, man. The Knicks have options at the fifth starter. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. It's not just about naming a starter. It's about identity. What do the Knicks want to be? Do we want to be the team that grinds you down defensively every possession, like under Tibbs? Well, if you add Mitch or Deuce, that's what you're looking to get. Right? If you add Mitch or Deuce to the starting lineup, you're looking for a team that's going to grind down the other team defensively, like contest everything, force bad shots, right? Shut down the other team's second, third, and fourth best scorers. If you add Deuce or Mitchell Robinson to the starting lineup. And that's cool. As long as we win, that's cool. Again, as long as the Knicks win, it doesn't matter how we get there. as long as we win, right? Or do we want to lean into offense and try to outscore everyone with firepower? And that's cool. By adding Jordan Clarkson, right, you get easier shot opportunities for OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges because Cat and Brunson are going to get their shots regardless. The floor opens up more. More dunks by OG Anunoby. More mid-range by Mikal Bridges. Or do we want to find the perfect balance where everybody plays their role and the core four can shine? Well, how do you get to that perfect balance? That's my homework question for you guys. How do the Knicks get to that perfect balance? Everybody, this is what you've been waiting for. You've been through years of searching and trying to get stars and begging for stability. And now you've got our core four. Now, the core is deeper than the core four now. There's a core seven, but the core four are the guys that we cannot live without. So we have a core seven, and that includes Josh, Deuce, and Mitch. Right? We've got a core, right? But what's the last puzzle piece? What separates the Knicks from all the other championship contenders? And being a team that can finally hang another banner in the rafters at Madison Square Garden. Is it about your taste? Or is it about progressiveness? Is it about progression? Right? Man, make sure y'all drop your thoughts. Drop your thoughts in the comment section so we can rock. Trabro says Westbrook's intensity and leadership off the bench. Just Nick says, now I watch a lot of teams point guards make easy layups and floaters. Dude stops that. What? Now I watch a lot of teams point guards make you have not. Just Knicks. You have not seen other teams point guards drop layups on this team. You know why? Mike Brown ain't coached the game yet. Relax. What are we talking about? Like, point guard's not hitting layup. Mike Brown ain't coached the game yet, not even preseason. We don't know what defensive strategy he's going to employ. How do you know that the previous defense was not a flawed system? We got to relax. We got to let these guys play. Nick Yak says team will be small at point, small at two, small and small at small forward, small at power forward, with a weak help defender at center. I don't know, y'all. This is the thing that we have to have the conversation about. Prezi says, yo, we still in the Tibbs era. Hey. Dog. Legitimately, I'm asking permission to call Prezi. Dog, what are we doing? Like, can we just for a moment, just realize that just because a player played one way under one coach doesn't mean that player is going to play the same way despite who the coach is. Because if that's the case, why do you change coaches? Like, in my mind, Mitchell Robinson is going to break out under Mike Brown. And in my mind, Mitchell Robinson is going to break out under Mike Brown. In my mind, Karl-Anthony Towns' assists are going to go up by 2 or 3, maybe 4 under Mike Brown. In my mind, Jalen Brunson is going to be a 50, 40, 90 guy under Mike Brown. In my mind. But I'm not saying these things for sure because Mike Brown hasn't even gotten these dudes their first training camp yet. We gotta at least we gotta at least get to seeing these guys in practice jerseys. In my mind, we gotta at least get these guys in practice jerseys first. At least. And also keeping it a stack, everybody. Just keeping it a stack. In my mind, Mike Brown is going to use Josh Hart. Yes, Josh Hart, the Swiss Army knife, in a different way than Tom Thibodeau used Josh Hart, the Swiss Army knife. These things happen. One of the things that we forgot under the last coach is that before Josh Hart got here, he was a Swiss Army knife. That's one of the things we forgot. But one of the things we forgot is Josh Hart, by nature, does a lot of stuff. We forget Josh Hart can initiate a little bit. We forget that Josh Hart can score a little bit. We forget that Josh Hart is a great rebounder for his position. We forget that Josh Hart is a great assist guy. We forget that Josh Hart brings a ton of energy every night. We forget that Josh Hart is a flexible defender up and down. Josh can guard. I'm going to say this. It's going to make me laugh when I say it. But let me say it this way. Josh is willing to guard 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. He's willing to guard 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, whether it's by assignment or on switches. Right? Like the other day, I was saying a Swiss Army knife has 2 sets of knives, or 2 sets of knives on it, a blade and a little knife, little fingernail clipper, little corkscrew, little scissor, little screwdriver. A Swiss Army knife has all that stuff on it. And just because the other coach only used a screwdriver doesn't mean that those other skills aren't there. Josh Hart is a super valuable player that can do a lot of things. But before we paint ourselves in the intellectual corner, Dre, what's good, bro? Before we paint ourselves in the intellectual corner, let's take a deep breath and remember that what you saw in the last 3 years is not indicative of what this team has. If Tom Thibodeau used Josh Hart, the Swiss Army knife, as just a screwdriver, that doesn't mean Mike Brown is not going to use the corkscrew, the scissors, the screwdriver, the two knives, or whatever it is, the keychain, whatever it is. Is Josh Hart the fifth starter, though? We have to have that conversation. So the pros and cons of Josh Hart are he hustles, he rebounds, defensive versatility, he keeps the ball hopping. The minuses are he's a streaky shooter and can at times doink up your floor spacing because shots are there and he won't take them. The best fit for him is the best fit for a starting lineup is a tough and versatile supporting cast around Jalen Brunson and Cat. If you want to be in people's face all night long, that's the thing. Mitchell Robinson, the Mitchell Robinson thing to me is intriguing in that I'm nervous about Mitch because the upside is there, no doubt. I believe in Mitch's offense when he's confident. I don't believe in his offense when he's not confident. And at times, Mitchell Robinson doesn't look confident as an offensive player, especially in the playoffs when his free throws aren't going. And I'm saying that as a Mitch fan, by the way. I'm not saying this as a Mitch hater. I think Mitchell Robinson, as a starter under Mike Brown, can give us 10 and 8. A couple of blocks as a starter. I don't think Mitchell Robinson playing more minutes is going to equal more rebounds. I think Mitchell Robinson playing more minutes gives you more elite defense, even perimeter defense. The reason why I'm paused for Mitch is because in my heart, I really want Mitch to start. And my basketball senses are telling me that a team that wants to run is not going to start 2 7-footers. A team that wants to run is not going to start 2 7-footers. Not for long, they won't. Because you'll see one of them hopping off the floor eventually. It's not what they're meant to do. They're not, 7-footers aren't meant to be running 18, 19 miles per hour up the floor and back all game long. They're not built for that. In my heart, I want Mitch to start. Right? The only thing about Mitchell Robinson starting is Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are not knockdown three-point shooters. If both those guys shot 40+% from three, I'd be okay. I really want my guy to start. And last year at times, I was telling myself, maybe we can convert Mitch to a jumbo wing type where he doesn't get bumped and kicked and stepped on and he step on others. Maybe we could get Mitchell Robinson out of the wash. Maybe we can turn him into a jumbo wing defender, right? Pull him away from the rim, right? And just have him be the weak side shot blocker, right? Or weak side rim protector. Maybe we can do that. But honestly, I can't tell myself that Karl-Anthony Towns is a rim protector. There's no world where any Uncle Freezie is going to say that Karl-Anthony Towns is a rim protector. Do I like Cat? Of course. I like Mitch too. I like Huck Porty, and I love James Najee. But if a team wants to get up and down the floor and run, in a lot of cases, they don't start 2 7-footers. And so while it frustrates me to think that Mitch, I can't put Mitch as a starter because OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are not knockdown three-point shooters. I can't knock those guys because those guys are excellent at what they do. Because in theory, you can start Mitchell Robinson if the other 4 guys on the floor are knockdown three-point shooters, but they're not. Even Jalen Brunson took a step back last year. Nick Yak says, both go down. What are you talking? Nick Yak, what are you talking about? Nick Yak, don't start that Homer mess tonight where Mitchell Robinson is Superman, bro, because it looked foolish. If you're going to be a Mitch fan, be a real Mitchell Robinson fan. Don't be in the comments, or you can say whatever you want in the comments, but if you start that Mitchell Robinson wear a Superman cape stuff, you're going to look crazy. Everything we're saying about Mitchell Robinson is absolutely true. You know that his confidence go up and down on offense. You know that. You saw it with your own eyes. You know Mitchell Robinson gets hurt. He was hurt last year. You saw it. You know they don't pass him the ball out the pick and roll. You know that. You saw it. And we talking about these things, bro. This is real stuff. These are real things. You know Mitchell Robinson struggles with free throws. We know this. All of us know this. We're not knocking him. We want him to do and be better. Mitchell Robinson wants you think Mitchell Robinson don't know that? Of course he knows that, and he wants to be better. Man, we can't be putting these capes on players, man. We know their strengths and weaknesses. Now, if an outsider come in here, if a Cavs fan come in here and say something about Mitch, then, hey, man, we all jumping on them together, right? If an outsider, if a Celtics fan was in here talking about Mitch, then we going to jump them together, right? But this is us. This is Knicks fans. We know they not. When Mitch set the pick, what y'all saw it like Tory B. Did you not see last year? Mitchell Robinson had to go set screens 40 feet away from the rim because other teams were running exotic defenses and traps on Jalen Brunson. And then by the time he set the pick, the shot go up. Drip Moore's in the building. Salute. The half court is 45 feet. And Mitch has to go out to 40 feet to set a screen. Soon as he go out there, he's out of the play. Soon as he go out there to set a screen because another team runs an exotic defense on Jalen Brunson and he's got to come out and screen, he's out of the play. These are facts. This is not something I made up. This is real. How do you prevent teams from getting into these exotic defenses? Having another dominant ball handler on the floor that can make defenses pay. I would venture to say that with Jordan Clarkson on the floor with Mitch and another guard, Mitch is going to have a what is that thing where something was down for a little bit and then explode? A renaissance. I would venture to say if Jordan Clarkson, Mitch, and another guard is on the floor, you'll see a Mitchell Robinson renaissance. My guy, hey, yo, we all love Mitch, bro. Right? Like we all love Mitch. I follow Mitch on social media. Every time he posts, an alert come to my phone, and I check it. The Deuce McBride part, though. I want to talk about the Deuce thing one more time. I just want to clarify the Deuce thing. All ball handling is not the same. Just because you have a title by your name doesn't mean, like just because you on the depth chart, it says point guard, shooting guard, whatever. I don't know what to call Deuce McBride. And I like Deuce. I think Deuce's leadership almost rivals Jalen Brunson's leadership. I think Deuce, in a vacuum, may be just as good as a leader as Jalen Brunson. That's how I value Deuce. I think Deuce is a great person. I think guys like Deuce, personality-wise, is what you need on a basketball team. My only issue with Deuce is scoring. You cannot be an NBA guard shooting 40% from the floor. You just can't. And then to hang your hat on athleticism, you're a 6'2" athlete and can't score? We just can't. You just can't have it. It's not acceptable to say that you're a wing defender. To say that you're a wing defender at 6'2", we just can't live with it. is, in my opinion, is now or never for Deuce. Right? All those kids that came along in that time, they've graduated. And our claim to fame with Deuce is that he's cheap. That can't be your claim to fame. That cannot be. And one of the things I thought about the other night is Deuce McBride gets hurt, gets injured a lot. Deuce gets injured a lot, and that's my guy. Deuce in a starting lineup, I think, answers some questions, but presents other questions. Right? Deuce McBride in the starting lineup answers some questions. The question that's answered is, who's going to guard the other team's point of attack initiator? Deuce McBride. Right? On the offensive end, Deuce is a spot-up shooter at best, but he's not a good spot-up shooter. Right? You have to punish teams for even thinking about double-teaming Jalen Brunson if you're in the backcourt. All five guys that we mentioned have deficiencies. They have pluses and minuses. And overall is, which guy presents you with the most comfortability? In my mind right now, even though the situation is not ideal, I like Josh Hart as the starter. I like Josh Hart as the starter, but what I would do is take his minutes and Mitchell Robinson's minutes, combine them and split them in half. So if Josh was playing 36 minutes and Mitch was playing 18 minutes, I'd split that so they both get like 27 minutes. Because I think Mitchell Robinson is super important. But I think Josh is super important. I'd legitimately shave away some of Josh Hart's minutes and give those minutes directly to Mitchell Robinson. I wouldn't spread those remaining minutes out. I wouldn't try something new or fancy. I would give those minutes directly to Mitch. My substitution pattern, first two guys off the bench, Mitchell Robinson and Jordan Clarkson. At the first sub, say at 9 minutes, you look at the scores table, is Mitch and Jordan Clarkson. I'm sorry. I think Mitchell Robinson gives you things that no other NBA center is going to give you defensively. Defensively, guys like the only difference between, to me, defensively, I don't think Victor Wembanyama is a better defender than Mitch. Right? I don't think Rudy Gobert right now is a better defender than Mitch. I don't think there is another center in the league that can guard Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Porzingis. I don't think there is another center in the league that can guard Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam. I don't think there is another center in the league that can guard Isaiah Stewart, Tobias Harris, and Jalen Duren. My questions about Mitchell Robinson are the things that none of us can control, are things like system fit. Mike Brown said in his introductory press conference that he wants to run. And traditionally, teams don't run with 2 7-footers. That's my thing, right? The other thing is something that Mitch, the Knicks, the NBA, me, you, man, Eddie Murphy on this poster can't control. And that's Mitch getting injuries. I'm not saying put that man in bubble wrap. I'm saying let that man play. I'm saying play him till he can't play. And I'll live with that. But when the people on the other side of my love for Mitch say, Uncle Freezie, I told you he was going to get hurt. Hey, man, you were right. But until that thing happens, I feel like I'm right. Until Mitch gets hurt, I feel like I'm right. Play that man and pay that man. One thing I don't really feel, though, is the clamoring for Deuce McBride to be a starter. I know this is going to sound like sacrilege. Right? And I don't mean for this to be offensive when I say it. Now, mind you, when I pick another starter over Deuce, I'm picking a guy on our roster that I think is better. So it's one Nick over the other. I'm not saying trade for a guy because I don't like Deuce. I'm not saying trade for a guy because I don't value Deuce as a starter. I'm saying there may be another Nick that's a better fit than Deuce. I would rather see Yabusele or Josh Hart than Deuce. There it is. I said it. I would rather start Mitchell Robinson over Deuce. Quite frankly, I would rather start one of the kids over Deuce. And not because they're better players, but they just have more natural built-in advantages. I would rather see what's the kid that was scoring in Summer League? The 6'7" kid, the young Josh Hart guy. I would Kev McCullough. I would rather see Kev McCullough, Pakam Dadier start over Deuce because they have natural built-in advantages that no matter how hard Deuce works, he's not going to be able. No matter how hard Deuce works, he can never be 6'7". I'm with Sherman on that. I think size matters. In a sport of tall men, size matters. Hey, Randall, I understand your point. Right? But again, this is the thing. This is the thing with the defense, right? How do we know that the defense that we ran was not the issue and not the players in it? We don't know if the defense we ran was the issue. I'll give you an example, right? The Knicks were playing the Atlanta Hawks, and Trae Young was blown by everybody we put on him. It didn't matter who it was. Trae Young was getting to that free throw line area, threatening the teeth of the defense, pulling Cat away from the rim, and Cat wouldn't go on. Cat wouldn't commit one way or the other. He wouldn't stay back and let Trae Young throw up the floater, and he wouldn't come up and contest Trae Young's jump shot. We saw it over and over and over again. And anybody in the chat that saw that game, any of you guys that ever coached basketball, whether it's little kids or grown men, you know when a team is shredding your defense, it's not out of the realm of possibility to try another defense. If you guys played high school basketball, whatever you did, however you gained your basketball knowledge, and you guys know defense, right? When one player is a mismatch for your set defense, it's not a bad thing to show different defensive looks to get the other team out of rhythm. That is not a personnel thing. That's a scheme strategy thing. Right? If you've ever played or coached or even watched or even helped, you know you don't have to run the same defense every trip down the floor. We know this. And so the reason why I mentioned that is every time someone tells me, hey, Jalen Brunson is a bad defender, man, the way guys handle the ball now, no one is going to be a great defender. The things that people can do with the ball now, and the way certain guys foul bait, get the whistle, it's impossible to be an elite on-ball defender nowadays. Damn near impossible. It's damn near impossible. And then with the revolution or the revolution of the pick and roll defense or offense, where you can just switch until you find a guy and then run the pick and roll against the weakest defender. Every time you have a weak defender on the floor, a team is going to pass the ball around until they get the switch, the mismatch that they want. Then they're going to run the pick and roll. So I get it. Yes, Jalen Brunson is not an ideal defender. Okay, I get it. Like people hammer that thing home to me, like Uncle Freezie, but you don't understand. Jalen Brunson is not a great defender. No, listen. I understand Jalen Brunson is not an elite defender. Okay, some people will say he's not even a good defender. Right? I get it. People tell me all the time, you can't have two terrible defenders on the floor, Uncle Freezie. I know. Listen, I know. I understand. I do. And I feel your pain on it. Because contrary to popular belief, I love defense. I love defense and three-point shooting. I think they have revolutionized today's NBA game. Defense and rebounding. Defense and three-point shooting have revolutionized today's NBA game. So if I lean a certain way, I lean towards 3-and-D type of guys. Whether they're all 3 and a little bit of D or all D and a little bit of 3. I love those guys. For the day ones, y'all remember in the Quentin Grimes draft, I wanted the Knicks to draft Trey Murphy III. They didn't listen to me, right? They didn't listen to me. And then ever since that, they drafted a ham sandwich, right? And now that ham sandwich has played for 4 different teams since that draft. So am I saying Knicks brass, y'all need to listen to Uncle Freezie? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I love 3-and-D type players. Nobody's always right, right? Nobody's always right. But I think Mike Brown understands that these offensive players nowadays are so good that you can't just stop these offensive weapons with one player, chasing one player around the floor. You got to have a great team defense, right? You can't just take OG and Anunoby and put him on LeBron and say, it's over. We just put OG on LeBron. LeBron's not going to score. Nah, LeBron gonna get his average. LeBron's gonna score 27. He just might not go for 50. OG's gonna probably hold him to a season average. He just won't score. He just won't go off for 50 against OG. These offensive players look at Jalen Brunson. Look at Jalen. Who in the NBA can stop Jalen Brunson one-on-one? Nobody. Nobody. Who in this league can stop Karl-Anthony Towns one-on-one in this league? No one. That's why defense is a team concept. If everyone pulls together on a team, in a team concept, the defense will be better. We have to find a team defense. JJ, you better worry about these Mets, bro. That pitching is terrible. JJ, we got to go get some pitching from somewhere. JJ, what you doing tomorrow? Can you pitch tomorrow? JJ, what you doing tomorrow, man? We need a pitcher tomorrow. We need somebody out of the bullpen tomorrow if you're not busy. Yo. Hey, man, I don't know what I'm watching, bro. DSJ says we need to find a starting power forward. Hey, man, I don't know, dog. Guerschon Yabusele may be the guy. I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And here's the thing. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this to DSJ. And I was going to try to save it till around training camp. I was going to try to save it till about training camp, but I'll say it. I've been watching film on this kid, Yabusele. Because y'all know I don't really believe in a hype train. Right? Like, well, I believe in it. I just don't want to be a part of it. Right? You know how a guy would be garbage for another team? Like, I hate Cameron Payne. And then Cameron Payne signed with the Knicks. And be like, yeah, Cameron Payne's the GOAT. I don't really believe in that. Right? I don't really believe in that. But what I will say, though, is I think the conditions might be ripe for Gabriel Yabusele to be the NBA's most improved player. Yep. Y'all heard me say it. Yeah, see, I said it and I put my head down. I'm trying to hide all the arrows and tomatoes. I'm trying to hide from all the arrows and tomatoes. But I think the conditions may be right for Guerschon Yabusele to make a run at the NBA's most improved player. And this is not me trying to start the hype train. This is me acknowledging all the years and work he put in to get incrementally better year after year after year after year. This is not me saying, you know, he was blessed by such and such and such, and all of a sudden he's such and such and such. No. This is me saying or acknowledging that Guerschon Yabusele over the years has built himself into a player that in the right conditions could have a Julius Randle type of renaissance with a certain organization. Now, I'm not talking about all NBA, multiple time All-Star Julius Randle. I'm talking about, hey, this guy's better than we thought, Julius Randle. I think all this kid really needs, and he's a man, but shit. Tori B, is it okay for us to call people in their 20s kids? I don't feel that's the way I talk. I know I shouldn't, out of respect, but Guerschon Yabusele has been putting all this work in, needing a chance, needing a place that plays high leverage games where he is involved in those high leverage games where he can strut his stuff, so to speak. Now, I know y'all don't feel me on this, right? I know y'all don't feel me on this because y'all don't believe in stuff like that. Like when I say stuff like that, people are like, well, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, baby. You know what I'm saying? New York, if you could be the king of it. Nah, relax. We don't need for him to be the king of New York. We don't need for him to be the king of nothing. We don't need him to be the king of New York. We don't need for him to make it here. You can make it anywhere. We don't need that. But the environment here seems to be fertile soil. The conditions here seem to be fertile soil. And I can start to name guys that were a little bit off the radar that needed fertile soil, found it here, and wound up being better here than they were in other places. Now, I can do that, but that's not fun. I'm going to challenge you, the chat. Chat, tell me of a player, regardless of position, that was off the radar in other places, came here where the environment is right, improved their stock, and wound up being better here in New York than they were in other places. Can anybody in the chat tell me about a player that was off the radar on another NBA team, came to New York, and became a better player here than they were in other places? And I know people want to say, Jeremy Lin. Linsanity. No, I'm talking about recently. I'm talking about recently, man. The inference is on recently. It's not on ever. A player that was just a guy somewhere else get picked up by the Knicks and winds up being a better player here than they were in other places. DSJ says Isaiah Hartenstein off rip. Off rip, Isaiah Hartenstein. Randall and Nick Yak say Dante. Dante hadn't crossed my mind, but yes, Dante DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo. Y'all know the guy. Y'all know the guy in my mind, Julius Randle. I could say Austin Rivers. Josh Hart. And for that reason, I'm saying a guy with that work ethic, that desire, those skills that hadn't put it together in any other place could come to New York and possibly make a run at the NBA Most Improved Player. Nick Yak is Jalen Brunson. That one should have been obvious. Maybe I was digging too deep, but yeah, Jalen Brunson. The thing with Guerschon Yabusele, and listen, I apologize if I'm parakeeting what other content creators said. I don't really watch as many shows during the summer as I do during the season. So if somebody else said it first, I'm not copying them. It's just how I feel in my heart. That the conditions here may be right for a guy with a super high work ethic, a guy that's passionate, a guy that wants to be great. The conditions here may be right for Guerschon Yabusele. Just him. Now, I'm not saying everybody that comes here. I'm saying him. I'm not saying everybody that has a press conference holding the jersey is going to. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying him specifically. A guy that went from being super raw to adding a little handle, adding a little three-point shot, adding this, adding that over the years to the place where he is right now. Is he ready? Is he done? No. But the conditions here might be ripe for him to have a breakout. I don't really know how y'all feel about that. It's just my thought. And if it backfires, I'll admit I'm wrong. But I do feel like conditions here are perfect for a kid like that in a situation like this. Now, how that will impact the other parts of the roster, I don't know. I don't care. This is what I'm talking about tonight. So, everybody, what are y'all thoughts on what we discussed tonight? Who's the fifth starter? Am I wrong about Deuce? Should y'all double down with me on Mitchell Robinson getting more minutes? Is Josh Hart the Swiss Army knife that was used as, was not used? Did we not get everything we should have out of Josh Hart? Do you like the idea of Jordan Clarkson keeping exotic defenses intact with Jalen Brunson? Y'all tell me what y'all think. October soon come. October soon come. Nobody in the East worries we. None of them. Knicks family, them no worry we. None of them. They don't. We good. Okay. Sherman says he's 30. Yeah, okay. Hey, Sherwin, if I'm wrong, bro, I'll admit I'm wrong, bro. And I'm also not saying that he's going to be the all-star starter. I'm not saying that he's going to be the all-star starter. What I'm saying is the guy has potential to be on that most improved list. Dallas and Philly on Thursday. Nick Yak, I can't wait. On that note, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see y'all tomorrow night at 11. I'm sorry I was late tonight, right? Messing around, watching TV. I told Fritz Alcindor I was going to be here at 11 o'clock on a dot and mess around watching TV. So I'll see y'all tomorrow night at 11. And we'll have another conversation in the family. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace, y'all.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fams on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we call